Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. I know y'all spoiled, real spoiled, because this is the second live. Again, sometimes it's easier for me to go live than to try to record and do all those little edits and things, me sucking my teeth and all that other stuff. But anyway, let's get into it. So I just saw that TMZ stopped and had a conversation with Jonathan Majors. And let me just share my screen. All right. So it says here that Jonathan Majors is heartbroken after Marvel pivots focus to RDJ. So as you heard in my last live, I told you that everything that happens over in Marvel is intentional, but we do see the after effects of all these things that are intentional. There's a lot going on with this video things and stuff like that. You see Dr. Dre, but that's not the. I wonder, could I refresh it? Here we go. So we'll just read and then we won't play the video, but there is a video. Someone caught him walking, as they always do, coming out of the gym. Um, but it says here, let me see. It goes through too much stuff. It says Jonathan Majors expressing heartbreak after this is coming from TMZ, and they don't have a writer per se who wrote this, but this is from TMZ. Jonathan Majors is expressing heartbreak after Marvel officially announces Robert Downey Jr. as the franchise's new villain, pivoting away from his Kang the Conqueror character. And you remember I said that they introduced this Kang the Conqueror character in Quantum Mania, which at the time, I guess we were so excited about the Kang character. As time goes on, you start to realize this was a this was odd for him to for that Kang the Conqueror character to be entered in Quantum Mania, but it was, and that's how, that's just how it was. So we caught up with the actor in West Hollywood Tuesday, where he explained why RDJ Dr. Doom news was bittersweet for him. As he put it, Dr. Doom's introduction into the MCU is pretty cool, but he loved playing Kang, and so it's only natural that he's bummed about Marvel's redirection. Though some fans have felt that Jonathan has been blacklisted from the MCU, has been too harsh of a punishment, given that he was found guilty uh, of a misdemeanor assault and harassment and given no jail time. Interesting, RDJ himself did jail time in the 90s after being found guilty of possession of a controlled substance, carrying a concealed weapon and a vehicle with a prior conviction, and driving under the influence and use of controlled substance. However, the Oscar winner later received a full pardon in 2015 from the California governor, Jerry Brown. Now that's interesting because I did not know that he received a pardon. That's interesting. So basically, all of that is just kind of expunged. Is it? Y'all let me know about these pardons, because when you're pardoned for the crime, uh are you reset? We're just gonna have to look that up. We're really gonna have to look that up to see what's going on with that. However, let's continue. So he received a full pardon. Let's see. Ezra Miller, who played Barry Allen, the Flash in the DC Extended Universe movies, similarly kept his superhero job, though he faced a number of troubling allegations in recent years, including harassment and grooming. Interesting. But we already knew that. But I'm just saying, because all of that was happening prior to and the same time around that Jonathan Majors uh, incident became public. But Ezra Miller stuff, it was just like, I don't know if you remember back, it was like 2021, 2022, maybe 2020, 2021, 2022. It just seemed like every 6 months, 3 months to 6 months, he was coming out with some stuff. Because I remember me initially paying attention to it. It was some stuff that happened in Hawaii. And then he left Hawaii and went to Connecticut and had some stuff going on in Connecticut. And then I think it was either 2020 or 2021. He had some stuff that happened over to the Netherlands where he had put his hands around a young lady's uh throat. But I will be doing a thing because I hope you all remember that when this Jonathan Majors things came out, I kept I the S word kept coming up. The S word kept coming up, and I couldn't understand why the S word is come up. I do understand. I am going to do a pretty much a longer video. I'm working on that right now about why that word was so prevalent during the Jonathan Majors trial, and why the putting out of that word has probably caused him more harm than he actually realizes. But I will be coming to that later on. But let's continue. When asked for his input as to why he was being treated differently than Ezra and Robert, Jonathan danced around commenting, but shot us a knowing look. All right, so that's pretty much the end of that article. But let's see if they have it up here. They have everything up here, but the video that needs to be up here. I don't know about playing the video. It is fair use. See who's here. Hello, Miss Unapologetic Summer on Break at Work. Finally caught you live. Hey, I hadn't seen you in a while, but y'all, I be working too. I got to get out of here in a minute. To get to my job, but it's good to see you here. Yeah, you can't understand that. You can't understand that. And again, like I said, if you watched my last live, it was just a little chit chat with a little rambling, but everything over at Marvel is intentional. Look at there. Yeah, that's not easy. It's not. It's not. And then you have so many eyes on you because people are you all realize that literally people are waiting for him to crack. People are waiting for him to be something, but I, and this is just a whole different situation. But were y'all watching the Olympics? And you see the little guy on there named Steve, who is probably more awkward than Jonathan Majors, but you see how people are rallying around Steve and his awkwardness. He's a gymnast, and but for some reason everybody can rally around Steve and his awkwardness. uh Black folks, white folks, all kinds of folks are rallying behind Steve and his awkwardness, and it's accepted, but we can't rally around his awkwardness. It's weird. It's he's playing a role. You understand how and I say this as respectfully as I can. You see how we uh put biases on people, uh how black folks can't be this but other people can be that, and we're pretty much the same folks. We have culturally different experiences, but there can be black folks with ADHD, there can be black folks that are awkward, there could be black folks with problems and stuff like that. But if whatever that problem is, if we can demonize it, then we, oh yeah, we're good, that's just what that person is. Instead of just understanding that people have different personalities, and people can get upset, things can happen to people, and how you work through what happens is a thing. I'm interested to know where he's walking to, because he's walking in somebody's neighborhood. Is TMZ gonna follow him all the way to the house? What is going on? I just noticed that. I watched the video and I listened to what was being said, and let me stop sharing my screen. I watched the video and I saw what was being said, but now that I've just watched the video again with y'all, I'm just looking at the fact is, where are they going? Are they gonna walk him to his house? Because I know he lives out there somewhere. Are they gonna walk him to his house, child? A mess. But I just wanted to go over that. He's having a human reaction to being saddened that the MCU has pivoted a different way. I think that he probably knew that anyway. But he's just trying to keep a stiff upper lip, as they say back in the day, a stiff upper lip. But I think he's done that, and I think he's probably at peace with it. I think that they had probably talked about it. I think that they're at peace with it. He's at peace with it. He's moving on to other projects, which I hope that he does. I do hope that his magazine Dreams project gets put out around Oscar season, to see whether or not that he will be able to do that. So what y'all let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about this little news article that TMZ put out there? Because TMZ seems to know when he goes to the gym or not. I don't know if they sit out there. I don't know if that young lady sits out there and she waits, or she must have saw him go in. But it's just interesting that they always seem to catch him at the gym, and he seems to be a big gym rat. He likes to go to the gym, and that's cool. But what do y'all think about that? I'm not going to be on here long. We do understand that he is bummed out. I'd be bummed out too, because it has been rumored that him playing Kang, and him having this multi film deal was going to net him over $20 million. So you're looking at the fact that 20 million, if he got his money up front, then that's a good thing. But I think that they probably paid him a portion, and then he was going to get paid other monies later on. But you're out of a 20 from a 5-minute incident, you are out of $20 million, and that's sad. And like I said, we are hopeful, we believe in his talent, and we know that he's going to get out here and do wonderful and other things, but he won't be doing it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. James Gunn, hey, you got someone who could play a good superhero. He could play a good villain. I know that there's plenty of villains over there. You can do that. Any of these independent films, any of these other things, television roles and stuff like that, you got a good actor that's out here that just needs a chance, just one chance, just like RDJ got a chance. uh what's that Passions of the Christ guy, what's his name? Was he Passions of the Christ? Mr. Racial Epithet. Come on. He played with Danny Glover in the buddy cop film. But that's who they're saying that gave RDJ a second chance to get out here and do something. So there is somebody that can give him a second chance. Be it Spike, be it Denzel, be it who's ever out here doing movies at this point. Mel Gibson, thank you, unapologetic Simber. Mel Gibson. There's somebody out here that can give this man an opportunity to cut his teeth on some things that he can do. There is somebody, like I said, all these people with all of these different production companies and all of these other things. There's somebody that can give him a chance, and I think you know just go ahead and give him a chance to get out there and cut his teeth, because he's one of those actors that loves the acting portion of it, because he is an actor. The money will come later. I'm quite sure that he can get a good role where he can do some acting. I saw that Coleman interview where he was responding to the question like he got the Kang role, but that wasn't true after all. Uh, everything that Marvel does is intentional. And it was probably intentional to let him know that they may have paid him a few $100,000 to say, okay, uh, you can't say, but you can't not say that you have this role or not. So he probably was talking in that thing, and there was probably negotiations going on, and he may have been the last resort type situation. Because again, I believe that everything that goes on over there at Marvel is intentional. All right, people. I wasn't going to be in here long. It was just easier for me. Um, Let me just go make sure that everyone is highlighted today. I can understand that. Yeah, smiling through it all. Explain what makes you say what Marvel does into intentional excusing. Well, I'm curious is the fact this is what, because I had the last video out there, but everything that Marvel does is intentional, because you can pay three people upwards to $160 million, when you were going back earlier, and you can't make this Blade movie, but all the different writers that have been on that show that have come in through, they've made 5, 6, 7, 8 million dollars, and they knew that they were not going to that script was never going to see the light of day. So that means that some people were rubbing other people's back. Everything is intentional, because if you can pay the Russo brothers $160 million, you can pay somebody to write Blade. Everything Marvel does is intentional. I don't think I think that because the fans were talking about Black Panther and they wanted them to do a movie and everything like that, that I don't think that they were stunned. I think that they knew that it was going to do well. I just didn't think that they thought that it was going to do that well. I think that they paid like 200 million, maybe 200 million dollars to make the Black Panther movie, and then they netted over $1 billion. I didn't think they didn't think that they were going to do that well, because that $1 billion helped all these other little movies like Shang-Chi and all these other things that didn't do as well. But then when he dies, you can't recast him. And it's a 5-minute meeting. We find out it's a 5-minute meeting about not recasting. And he tried to make it seem like it was Nate and Ryan's call. I don't think that. I think everything Marvel does is an intention. I think even before he had a meeting with Nate and Ryan, that him and the powers that be have decided, oh, okay, this man has passed away. This is a great opportunity for us to pivot. We'll make it seem like we're giving them the final say. But I'm quite sure in that meeting, they were talking about all these other projects they were doing with the Riri Williams and the Wakanda Forever and all this other stuff, because back at that time we were all doing all of this right here. They were back doing all of that stuff, and they were like, well, they'll just be happy with the Wakanda. We don't have to worry about the T'Challa, so we just won't recast T'Challa. We'll just zip him out of the MCU so we can just kind of marry on, because we really didn't want him in the MCU anyway. So this is why they paid $250 million for a for some funerals with Wakanda Forever. If you can pay this people this amount of money and then get quality people to do it, you could have done it back then. There was no reason why you couldn't have done it back then. That's why I'm saying that everything over at Marvel is intentional. Yes. Little Steve is the one with the glasses. He was the only person there that his only job, they called him the specialist. Uh his only job was to do the pommel horse. And he did the pommel horse, and his pommel horse routine is how they won the bronze medal. They know where they live. I think they know the gym he goes to, and they just stock the gym. They probably know that young man goes to the gym three times a week, between, I don't know, because it's always the daytime. So he's probably there from like 8 to 10 every day, 3 times a week, and they know that, and they catch him there. Yeah, because we all wanted to see, and there's a fan base that wanted to see them, but we have to understand that there is this majority toxic fan base that love to use code words like use woke in the wrong way, or say, oh, well, that's a DEI hire. And they will go around and I don't care what y'all say, they have been sabotaging a lot of movies, because the Marvels, when they came out, you see how they tried to sabotage that movie, and the Marvels movie was better than Thor Love and Thunder. But you don't hear the vitriol behind the Thor Love and Thunder as you do for the Marvels, as you do for all the other little different things. I don't know. Again, again, testing that, they were in the back making all these moves, testing the waters to see how things were flying. But they're moving intentionally. They because you think about it. They paid $80 million for Robert Downey Jr. For $80 million, you could have had some very good quality indie actors come in to play different roles, even if you wanted to recast Kang with someone else. Even if you wanted to recast Doctor Doom, RDJ. And then they're saying, from what I understand from the rumors, if you look at my last video, one fan is talking about, oh, well, he's just going to be a variant. You paid $80 million for Robert Downey Jr. to pay a variant? And you see how that Oscar has upped the price for Robert Downey Jr. But you see, Mahershala Ali is a 2-time Oscar-winning actor, and he's been sitting on ice for the better part of 4 years. Oh, thank you so much for showing up, Mr. YouTube 92. I just popped on here because I saw that TMZ article with Jonathan Majors, and I thought I'd mention it while I had a little time before I shimmy on to work. You hear that, don't you? before I shimmy on to work. Blade was supposed to be before the whole Kang story, and yet he did Loki, Ant-Man 3, Loki 2 before we got Blade. Exactly. Exactly. Blade was announced in 2019. We got Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi wasn't announced to after Blade. We got the Marvels. They weren't announced to after Blade. All of these streaming services that we see on TV that we've seen over the past day, they were all announced after Blade. Everything Marvel is doing is intentional because if you wanted Blade to come out like you said you wanted Blade to come out, Blade would be out because you would have found that writer even if you would have begged the Russo brothers to do it. You would have found that writer even if you would have jumped over to DC into the animated series. Those people always seem to be able to know how to write a good series. You could have and they've done Constantine and all those little different things like that. So you could have found somebody like those people, and you could have paid $20 million for three of them, and they could have written a good Blade movie. We will see. And not only did they get $80 million on Apologetically Simmer, they're also getting if there's a number of butts in the seat, they get a percentage, and they get a percentage of how well the movie does. So he RDJ and the Russo brothers have the ability to make upwards to $120 million uh on these two movies. These $80 million up front and probably 30-40 million dollars on the back end. That's what I hear. I haven't seen it yet. It was Deadpool's one of those characters that I wasn't really interested in. If it comes on Disney Plus, I may watch it because I just got the HBO Max, the Hulu, and the Disney bundle for 16.99. So if it comes on, if it comes on there, I'll watch it. But it's not anything that I'm running to the movies to go see. But I've heard that it was okay. It wasn't saving the MCU. It's just a matter that people wanted certain faces on TV and they on the movie screen and they got it. So they were going to support that because certain faces was on the screen. Yes. That's why I said everything over at Marvel is intentional. If you can pay this man $80 million right off the bat, you could have paid $80 million to get the this Blade series up and off thing. There's no reason why it should be on hiatus the way it is. And you've been telling us for the past 4 years, oh, it's coming out in 2023. Oh, it's coming out in 2024. Now you're saying it's coming out in 2026. Yeah, we're almost at half a decade of them talking about Blade. Yeah, when a movie flops. Everyone wants to talk about Quantum Mania, but Quantum Mania, uh, Thor: Love and Thunder, all of those movies within that time section, uh, they did not do good because of the fact that you had writers that did no character development, and they weren't interested in the movies anyway. They were there to just get a payday. What is it? Wahiti Tiki. He told y'all that thing. He came over to Marvel because Marvel was paying. Not that he had any interest in comic books, not that he had any interest in superhero characters. He came over because of the fact that they were paying. And it paid off for him um uh with his Thor movie because we Thor that movie needed at that time not to be so serious, but to continue to keep it jokey when you could have made things serious. I mean, Thor had so much serious things going on at that point. He believed his brother is dead, his father was dead, his sister was dead, his mother was dead. He had a whole bunch of loss that we could have put that in through his superhero arc, but that wasn't established. Exactly. Two, before he signed that contract for Blade, he had two Oscars, and now you have a two-time Oscar winner who literally, I mean, he's done things in between. Please do not get me wrong. But this man has been sitting on the better half of, I know he's getting ready to be in Jurassic Park, but he's been sitting on the better part of 3 years waiting on a Blade script to be written and to be written effectively. So, all right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with you care. Y'all, I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. So please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, y'all. And as always, people, bye-bye.